Hi guys, right, so it's a bit of a big video for me today. So if you follow my channel, you know I've built many little replicas of pre-existing robots, but I've never actually A, built a robot from scratch, or B, designed anything from scratch myself. It's always been little toys, and obviously it's always been pre-existing designs. And I want to change that today. So I've got the heavyweights, obviously, which again I didn't design and everyone advised against, and I was like, what do experts know? Turns out experts know a lot. Listen to experts, what a revelation that is. So the heavyweight's basically just sitting there doing nothing. But, so I'm going to do what everyone kind of recommended, which was an ant or a Beetleweight. For me, ant weight's the little 4-inch cube rule where you can't build a robot kind of a mad shape or size or anything. I find that kind of constrictive, so I'm going to go with a beetle, and I think they're also probably a bit less fiddly to work on. So yeah, Beetleweight for me, which is 1.5 kilos for those who don't know. So I've kind of always wanted to build my own robot, but what's really inspired me is my friend Jimmy Cotton, who is over on Team OTT channel. His channel is like criminally undersubscribed and underviewed, so please go check him out. He's basically got this fantastic series of build sort of vlogs called Have I Finished My Beetle, where he builds his own beetle, and that has massively inspired me to give it a go. I met up with him at RoboNerd. I've met him a few times before, and he was showing me the second iteration of his robot Volta, which is now called Voltageist, and it's just amazing how far he's come from basically where I am now, having no idea, and then just giving it a go. So yeah, please show Jimmy some love. I'll put a link to his channel below. Right, so I've had one kind of principal design that I really want to try out, and I've had it in my head for maybe 3 or 4 years now, and this is classic my channel, that is, like how speedily we get things done. Anyway, let me describe it in principle. Okay, so basically I want a robot which is going to have a kind of shape sort of like this. So it's going to have kind of pincers. So this is the main body here, so the wheels will go kind of here. I was toying with the idea of like kind of some sort of self-rider, but it's going to get complicated, so I'm probably going to try and do wheels that are kind of big enough that they can be invertible. So yeah, the wheels will sit here, and then it will have sort of this kind of shape here, and then mounted here, again, people have I should really listen to experts, but I want spinners like mounted like this, basically. Well, probably at the same angle, maybe more like that. Anyway, I haven't decided exactly, but in principle. So the spinners will go there. I'll have some sort of pontoon kind of wedge thing here, so that hopefully a robot will come in here. Nice little arrow to indicate. And we'll kind of go one side or the other, and then go into one of the spinners. Part of the thing of engineering is you've got to come up with the easiest / laziest solution. I'm not very good at driving it. I've had very little practice. I've done the hex bugs a bit, but that's about it. So my thought is that if I get a robot and all I've got to do is go in and press left and right on my stick and then hit it with these spinners, then obviously that makes life a lot easier for me. I could try and do it kind of without the spinners to start, just to get the principle, and I might well sort of go with that because, like I say, spinners is sort of another level, really. But yeah, that's the kind of basic principle. And also, generally, obviously you see a lot of vertical spinners mounted like on the front of a robot, and then it hits the robot on the front, the opposing robot, but that's where all the armor is, and people always kind of want to try and get around to the sides. So again, this is all scale-wise. This might be, maybe this pontoon will be smaller or something, but ultimately, I want this to kind of wrap around almost other robots. So it's, like I say, it's quite a bold first design, but I want something interesting, and ultimate design brief is I want something that's unique, and I'm going to make it look as cool as possible because I want a gnarly looking badass robot, because those are my favorites. So yes, principle. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is get the kind of electronics bits all worked out and just kind of put them in a cardboard box, essentially, because for me that's going to be the hardest bit, is getting everything moving and all that. Bristol Bot Builders has got some fantastic guides, and I've got all the parts from them. They're probably out of date because I got them about 1.5 years ago, again, classic me. But I'm sure they're fantastic anyway, so we're going to use those. So yes, that is what we're going to do. This is probably the biggest ever. Let's see how it goes. Okay, right, so following some nice instructions from the Bristol Bot Builders, I'm starting my sort of main thing. So here's where the lipo will go on. I'm absolutely a big fan of just like labeling stuff up, because, you know, it might look stupid, but it's so much easier. This is where the link goes. Here's my nice positive wire. Here's my lovely negative wire. There we go. So I've got to put in the LED for safety. And I've also got, so as you can see, you've got lots of different things coming off the positive and going back to the negative. So I've bought these like push fits. I work on trains from like the 1970s, so I use push fits all the time at work, and I think they're great, nice and easy things. So I'm going to try and use these. Okay, this is a Tupperware with some motors taped to it, a bit of tape on each of the shafts so I can gauge rotation. Everything's wired up, everything's like just roughly taped up, so there's no chance of anything shorting across anywhere. I'm gonna now put a battery on it, which is terrifying because I put a battery on briefly earlier and accidentally shorted stuff out like an idiot. So instantly terrified of the battery. Yeah, let's put it up and see if we've got any rotation. Let's put in the link. I mean, it plays a tune. What the hell? So, I've got to this stage, so it's all wired up. I was having a bit of trouble with one of the ESCs, so this is the second one, so I've wired another one basically. But we've got two working motors, which do what I want when I control them. Oops. So, one of them I push forward, the right hand stick goes forward, and the motor spins. Basically they go in opposite directions. So now I've got to do some sort of blendy type thing, I presume. So that was, I mean, the tape's all come off because obviously a bit more torque on those motors than I thought. But we've done it. We have a working drive system. And I know many people have done that already, but that fills me with excitement. I've basically, I mean, it's not quite a robot yet. It's just a piece of board with a load of electrics on it. But essentially, as far as I'm concerned, that's the difficult bit done. And from now on, it's all just fun. It's making a big mad shape. Okay, so I do nets. This is going to be the top potentially. I'm not really sure. Like, this is so open to like sort of being altered, but this bit looks cool. At least this is going to be the base, hopefully. Maybe it's a bit chunky. I'm not sure. I can't visualize the angles like that are going to be involved, so I feel the base will always look chunkier than the actual robot will when it's finished. Okay, we've got the base and the top. I've lined up the axles like that, so it'll sit sort of something like that, and then we'll build the wedges around. These are a little bit short to be the bulkheads, so I'm going to stick them on here, but then use classic bit of Lego on top. Which will bring them up to the 6.5mm depth, which is what I want, where hopefully the wheels will then sit just slightly proud top and bottom. Right, okay, I've had to zoom out. Most of the things I usually make are smaller than this. Right, so this is a sort of mock-up. I'm not liking this sort of angle here. I think I'll probably like let the bulkhead just remain at a right angle and then kind of pull this out from here. That kind of, it's a bit unnecessary otherwise. And also this feels very flimsy, so I might put some more, another like couple of 5mm bulkheads like here and here, which will also hopefully provide protection for the wheels. But it's good to get a sort of general vibe of the size and shape that it could be. And the wheels will sit in here like this. I've left a bit more gap because I realized the actual thickness of the HDPE will basically render it beached otherwise, so that's allowing for another sort of 5mm top and bottom. Hopefully it should still be poking out. Okay, we have our first piece of robot. Well, there's in the drive system. It's looking rough around the edges, so I'm going to give it a file up. Hopefully it's still actually kind of neat and stays within all the correct dimensions. Obviously that's the important thing. And then this bit is going to be, I'm really going all out. So this is going to be the bit that's going to bend to go down the front to be the sort of front wedge, which I'll then hopefully put another bit on the front to kind of form this point. It's looking like some sort of weird Space Invaders Batmobile. After a serious amount of cutting and drilling, etc., I've got my shapes. Pretty pleased with them currently. They're a little bit rough around the edges, but nothing disastrous. I've just experimented with this, and I've drilled the holes out of this, and these mount in the bulkheads, so that is good. And I'm currently drilling some holes to get this together. I'm aware that I've still got lots of pounds to do, but I feel once I get to sort of a certain stage, I can then start mapping up some new panels to fill in the gaps, basically. Okay, it's true, they say it's a learning curve. You plan and plan and... Right, so these are the original bulkheads that sat there, and I realised I was going to need something that sort of went to here, and then another one that sort of went just slightly off centre and then went to here. So what I've done, I've actually put these at a very slight angle going across here. I've made new ones that go the full sort of width of the robot. And I've got my first angle one in. It's screws at all mad angles all over, but once I've countersunk them, hopefully that'll be a bit less obvious. And then it's going to be a case, I'll just use bits of cardboard here, so there's going to be a triangle there, then the next triangle, basically try and get it all the angles looking right, and then I'll have it all together, smooth it all off, and then we'll see, well, we'll put some components in it, see what it does. Okay, time for more cutting. Okay, I'm doing this a little bit out of order because my drill died, so I thought, well, let's start some painting. But I've got a new drill, so I'm going to countersink some screws. I've created this little bit that goes on the front. It looks a little bit like a nose, if I'm honest. But we'll see how it looks on the final version. Painting panels and stuff. I found that writing in Sharpie on the outside of the panel that you want is a terrible idea because it just, everything just kind of shows through. So I was probably going to have to sand that back and start the painting again on certain bits, but that's fine. In terms of what's next for the build, so we've got these little side kind of pod bits which have nothing in them, so that'll be good for if weight distribution's off, I can cut bits at one end or add bits to another end or whatever. But the real next stage is kind of assembling the whole thing together and then working out if it's in any way scraping the floor or anything like that, because obviously if not, then we need to adjust that with a bit of metal trim or something, so I suspect we are going to do that. Also, the front, I think with the, where is it? With this shape on the front, obviously I made this little thing. I think it looks a bit stupid, so maybe the nose will be lost. Maybe I'll get rid of that. It looks like it could go on like the pullback shunt or something like that. But yeah, that, so we might just leave it as kind of a big pointy bit and then that, and then maybe we'll just smooth this off so it's a bit lower to the ground or something. Okay. This thing looks cool. I'm gonna say it. So we've got, in general, really pleased. I've got these metal plates now which sit, there we go, flush with the ground ish, enough. And we've got these little bits here. They're kind of there, but they're just there to sort of, they're not very thick, but they cover the wheels just on the front. The wheels themselves, they're kind of, I don't know if you can see right, no, you can't see right now. There's some slightly proud screw heads which are rubbing just a little bit on the foam, but I'm hoping that will just kind of wear a little groove in the foam and that won't be too hindering for the whole thing. Everything fits inside. I need to work on the mounting for my link to actually have that in there properly. And also the wheels, they're very much on the cusp. I mean, it's worked out reasonably well, but also this was meant to sort of be a what I'm trying to say, like the wheel was meant to be like nice revealed at the back there, but maybe I can file some stuff down or whatever. But yeah, really pleased with how it's looking so far. I might give it a little test drive on the floor. Unfortunately, the workshop is an absolute state at the moment, so I mean, there's a tiny bit of floor there. I guess I have to do it there. Okay, we now have a mounting point, which for whatever reason I've decided to paint gold. Why not? We're finished. So yeah, I've actually built a Beetleweight. I can't believe it. Let's have some nice close-up shots, you know, just for, well, because it's my first one. So the paint job turned out really nicely. I'm really pleased with the way the gold chrome sort of gleams in the sun. It was really nice. It was like one of the first sunny days when I took this outside to when it was finished, and that looks good. So I've kept that middle prong bit sort of underneath the wedge. Like I say, obviously I've got rid of the nose because it looked ridiculous. But hopefully that should become more important in later designs. So I've kept it there. I think it's part of the kind of shape part of the vibe of this robot. So I'm pleased that's still there. The wheels just peek out top and bottom. If you look at its side on, it kind of has a firestorm kind of shape to it, weirdly. So it's like my weird, I don't know, it's ended up being a sort of weird cross of Firestorm and Tough as Nails, which are, I think, two of the coolest looking robots, so I'm very pleased with that. It's weird because obviously usually I'm going for some sort of accuracy, but this is just completely my design, so I mean, it looks exactly like I'd hoped it would look, actually slightly cooler if anything, to be honest. So yeah, really pleased with that. And now I guess we give it a test drive. Let's power it up. Oh, sorry, I forgot, yeah, test drive. Okay, that was so much fun, I can't even describe. I'm really pleased with the way the whole sort of project, as it were, has turned out. For the sake of editing and the joy of the montage, I didn't actually show the cut, but if you notice, when I was first testing the robot in the arena, it was kind of binding on one side, and that bit way back where I said, oh, don't worry, the foam will just wear away on the things, yeah, it didn't work. And I burnt out a motor, so yeah, I had to wait to film the actual montage after ordering a new motor, and I thought I'd replace the hubs as well whilst they were the much easier ones to fit. So yeah, but after that it was all good to go. So like I said, I was really pleased with the reliability of the whole thing. The self-amalgamating tape around the wheels, I was really pleased with because it was driving for best part of an hour. On a couple of LiPo batteries, and the tape never came off, so it stayed stuck on and gave it really good grip, so I was really pleased with that. And in general, because the obviously I tried to find some very flat places like the basketball court and stuff, because the ground scraping wedges were very ground scraping, to the point when I just kept picking up bird poo, like seagull poo, off the floor, which was gross. Oh no, it's got more bird poo on it. Grimbo. But I guess proof that it worked, which is good. But yeah, in general, like despite taking a few hits on the bits of ground that maybe weren't quite flat enough, nothing went wrong with it the whole time we were out. So like I say, so pleased with that.
Oh, like, please go along right, yeah. I'll try.
In terms of like the original plan, it was never to build something with a big active weapon or anything. It was literally just going to be a wedge bot essentially, but hopefully one that looked kind of cool. And I think hopefully I've achieved that, I'd say, with it. I'm pretty pleased with how it turns out looks wise and stuff as well. And also the other point of the project was a learning curve. So I've learned so much about making a Beetleweight robot and designing stuff and all that sort of area, and I've already got like a massive list of improvements for my next robot, hopefully. So yeah, there's loads of things already. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this way better next time. Not that this one was a failure, but the whole point was that it wasn't never going to be perfect because it's the first time I've built something like this. So yeah, but as a project for learning, again, I think it's gone really well. Unfortunately, I can't make the Rapture Gaming Festivals where I was hoping to kind of take it and make its debut, but I will be going to RoboNerd this year, so I'll be taking it along there, and I can finally, after, what, 4 times of being at RoboNerd, I can actually enter something into the Content Creators Rumble, so I'm looking forward to that. That should be really good fun. And also get a chance to fight Jimmy. So once again, I'd like to give a big shout out to Jimmy Cotton, who, again, I'll put a link in the video to his Have I Finished My Beetle series on his channel. But I think he was quite a big inspiration. I was like, you know what, I'm going to actually do this. Like, Jimmy is selling this to me as something that that you can do, it's possible. So yes, thank you, Jimmy, for that. And thank you to all you guys for watching as well, and being patient, because there hasn't been any Xbox mods for ages, because every time I've come out here, I've been working on this Beetle. So, but fear not, there is, I'm sitting right here just off camera, is a half-built old Robot Wars competitor Hexpack mod. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. That'll be up. I was going to say soon, but this is my channel, so you know, maybe within the year if we're lucky. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheerio.